And we are live. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me, as always, with these live streams. Let me know if you can hear me and you can see me okay. Hopefully you can. And welcome to an unboxing video. Now, thank you very much, Adam, for letting me know. As you can see, this time I've not even taken it out of the box. So who knows what's inside? Apparently, it is the Royal Edition of the Castles of Burgundy Special Edition. I think that's right. A big thank you to Awaken Realms for sending me this. This is it's kind of a review copy of the game, but I feel unusual saying a review copy because I'm not going to be reviewing the game. Why am I not going to be reviewing the game? Because Awaken Realms are one of my clients and I've done some work for them in the past and I'm doing some work for them in the future. And I'm going to be doing a couple of sponsored playthroughs of this game. Tomorrow evening, Wednesday night in the UK, or Wednesday evening, I'm going to be doing a live solo playthrough using the Vineyards expansion, which I don't know anything about yet. And we'll find out tomorrow morning when I start reading the rules for it. And then, after I've got married and come back, I will be doing a 3 or 4 player. I think it's a 4-player playthrough. So I'm going to be doing a 4-player playthrough a week on Friday. So a couple of sponsor streams. So although I said I'm not going to give you a review of the game, Castles of Burgundy is not my favourite Stefan Feld game, but it is one of my favourite Stefan Feld games. It used to be my number 1 Stefan Feld game, but then I changed my mind and went on to Trajan. I don't know where Castles of Burgundy now is, because I love Stefan Feld games. I love Stefan Feld as well. But yeah, I've played a lot of his games, and a lot of them are very good, but I have played Castles of Burgundy over 300 times, probably 350 times. Not physically in person. I've probably played it about 20, 25 times in person. But I've played a lot of it on Board Game Arena, Yucata, and things like that. So yes, I have played the game a lot. And I wouldn't have played it that many times if I didn't enjoy the game. So, what do we have here? It says open here. You know me for following instructions. This is probably a nice letter from Awaken Realms, because that's what they that's what they do. Now, I feel a bit guilty about this because I'm not a backer of the game. As I say, they sent me this copy so that I could produce some content for it. But yeah, it's nice that they actually send out a letter to people. Important note. There is still a possibility that a small number of packages contain lacking stroke damaged components. Well, let's hope not. But if we have got any damaged or missing components, we will find out. So the Royal Edition comes with these acrylic hexes. We will open these in a minute. I've seen pictures of these. They look very, very nice. That's quite a nice heavy box. So yeah, we'll open that in a minute. And then we have some foam. And then we have the big box here. So there we go. This is, yeah, special edition. So I think the Royal Edition, I mean, it doesn't say Royal Edition on it, but I think it comes with sun-dropped miniatures and the acrylic hexes. I don't have the terrain pack. Oh, we've got play mats as well. The terrain pack means that you end up with 3D buildings for basically everything in the game. So I think I've just got the 3D towers. Right, let's try and get it out of there. Castles of Burgundy. Now, I'll be honest with you. Sorry about that. Just hit the microphone. When I heard that Awaken Realms were doing a special edition of Castles of Burgundy, I was confused and I thought it was an April Fool's. And that is because Awaken Realms are known for doing games with, lots of miniatures, narrative games, big epic games. So they've done Tainted Grail, they've done Etherfields, they've done ISS Vanguard, they've done Lords of Hellas. Not a narrative game, but they do a certain style of game. And Castles of Burgundy is a dry, boring Euro. One of those that I really love. Not the kind of game that I would have expected Awaken Realms to do. So I was a bit surprised that they've done it, but they've done a very good job with it, and they've run a successful campaign. And everybody I know who's got this version and has played it has complimented them and said, yes, they did a very good version. So it's it's nice that they've decided to branch out into other styles of games. And I don't know if this is just a one-off or they have other games in mind. Watch this space. Right, so now, if you don't know how to play Castles of Burgundy, you will find out tomorrow night. But it is most people's, whenever I do a poll on Facebook or anything else like that, and I say, what's your favourite Stefan Feld game? This is the one that gets the most votes. I think on BGG, it is his highest rated game. And it, as I say, it's most people's favourite game. It's not my personal favourite game of his, but it is very, very good, very well respected, and absolutely dry, boring Euro. And I say that not in a derogatory way, because I love those kind of games. So the rulebook, we've got a nice paper finish to this. Probably can't see that on camera, and you might be thinking, hang on a minute, of course it's paper. But it's got a nice parchmenty feel to it. And that's not just the front cover as well. That's the whole thing. I will have a browse through this later on tonight or tomorrow morning. But as I say, I know the game very, very well. I've played the game so many times. The bit I really need to read is the vineyards, wherever the vineyards are, because that's what I'm going to be covering tomorrow night. We have a help sheet for Chateauma. Maybe that's the solo player. I think that's the solo player. We've got some reference sheets for all of the different monasteries. Are there monasteries? They didn't used to be monasteries. I think they used to be called technology tiles or something. Okay. Adam saying the scene playthroughs with vineyards seems to be a good addition. Cool. One thing I have heard about vineyards, and this is true in the multiplayer game of vineyards and also in the solo game, is don't let anybody do vineyards and nobody else do vineyards. If only one player does vineyards, they're going to win, probably. So you all need to do a bit of it to stop one person doing it, as far as I know. Right. Main board, we'll have a look at that in a minute. We got some punch boards. So the reason why I think the box didn't sit flush is that you've got the punch boards, but once we have punched them out, which is a job tonight in front of TV, even though I haven't put Voidfall away yet, then everything will go back in the box and the lid will sit flush. Right, so we have lots and lots of different mats. Now, is that right that half of it's cut off? I think it is, because... Ah, there you go. Yeah, I think this is like... Mark was telling me about this. I can't remember. I think it's for the team game. But anyway, let's dig through. Let's just take stuff out for the moment. And we have the trays. I don't know if these are game trays or not. I don't think they are because I'm not seeing the logo. But they look almost the same type of thing. We've got some custom dice. We've got some metal coins. We'll have a look at them in a minute. Oh, wow. We've got some bags. Now, these are bags because you're going to put the tiles, I think, in the bags to mix them up. These have got an odd texture to them. If anybody knows what these are made out of, let me know. I kind of want to say leather, but I'm not sure. It's got a... Yeah, they are very high quality, but I don't know what they're made of. They're not just cloth. They're something else. Somebody let me know. They're pleather. I don't think that's the thing, John. I think you're having me up. I think you're having me up. Right, okay, so let's take this out. Let's put them over here. Don't need that. Assume we don't need that. Don't let the cats get the silicone gel. Okay. Right, now, I wanted to see what these were like. These are plastic overlays that you put on your player mat, and then you slot the hexes into these. So I'm really keen to see how these work. I'll have a look at them in a minute. Okay. And here's all of the different player boards. Now, I said I've played this over 300 times. I've not played with any of the previous expansions. So I've played with a number of the variations on the boards, but I've not played with any boards from the expansion. And this game's had loads and loads of little mini expansions over the years. One thing that I want to ask, if anybody in the chat knows this, in the original game, one of the boards was imbalanced. And whenever you play this game online in tournaments or anything like that, most tournament organisers have a particular board and we say, we're not going to use that board. I can't remember if it's board 4 or board 8 or something like that. But one of the boards is definitely not used. It's board 8, Willem says. Thank you very much. Yeah. So have they fixed board 8? Have they changed board 8 in this version? If they haven't, then I guess that would be the same. I guess people will still not play with board 8 because it's a bit too good. Willem says, I think it's in here unchanged. Right, okay, well, I'll find out later on. Okay, so what have we got? We've got more stuff. More stuff. Now, I'm not seeing any sun drop on these, so I obviously don't have the sun drop version, which is fine. I'll show you them later on. But we've got more stuff. I think these are the vineyards. Yes. Now, I'm going to switch to the other camera to show off the vineyards. Will this one work? Yeah, this one will work. So if you can see these are multiple layers. So you've got base layer down here, then you've got another layer up here, another layer up here, another layer here. And as many gamers will know, doing anything that's dual layered is really difficult production-wise, because you end up with warping or anything else like that. These are not warped. These are perfectly flat. So they've obviously found a way of doing it, and that's good. Adam is saying vineyards is the entire bottom. So what, you're saying everything down here is vineyards? Okay. Well, there's a vineyard board per player, and it's nice that they've wrapped them like this, because otherwise these would get damaged in transit. I don't know how I'm supposed to store them afterwards, but what have we got? What have we got here? What's this? Oh yeah, this is just a nice little cosmetic extra where you can put things in here. That's crying out for being painted. Not that I need any more painting projects. So we got another bag. Still don't know what these bags are made out of. And then we got some cards. So we're saying that these are the cards for the Vineyards expansion. Okay, right. So if the Vineyards is all of the stuff at the bottom, then I'm just going to put them in there for now. Okay, all of the Vineyard stuff fits back where you found it for storage. Okay, there you go. So that's all in there. Right, so while we're here, let's zoom in a bit more. Let's have a look at the miniatures. Who'd have thought Castles of Burgundy was going to have miniatures in it? So as you can see, these are, if it's gonna focus, these are really detailed. Now I have seen some pictures of people who've painted these, and they look fantastic. So I am very tempted to paint these, but I have so many games to paint at the moment. I could literally take a year off. So Chris is saying they look like suede. Yeah, that's the feeling that I got from them. So yeah, and we've got these as well. We got little busts, which presumably, if it's going to focus, yeah, it's going to focus. So I don't know if this is for the victory points or something else, but yeah, these are really nice. As I say, Awakened Realms do fantastic miniatures. They always have done fantastic miniatures, and it's nice to see, you know, the dry, boring Euro games getting the miniatures treatment. Are these different? Yeah, these are different. Okay, let's just zoom back in, because there's 2 different types of buildings here, or 3. Is it 3 different types of buildings? There's 4 different types of buildings. Right, okay. So we've got these ones, whatever these are. Then we have these ones, which I showed you earlier on. Then we got these ones. Oh, these look nice. These look more like keeps or something. Maybe it's one style per player. Maybe each player has their own particular style. Yeah, different sculpts. So they are all castles, and there are 4 of each in 4 different styles. So I think each player will choose which style they want, which means, good news for me, it means I need to pick the one that I like the best, paint that one, and then I get to play with painted miniatures and nobody else gets to play with them. That's how this works. Right, let's have a look at these player boards then. Alan is asking, is this more exciting to unbox than Voidfall? I will be absolutely honest with you, no. I'm very excited about this because this is one of my favourite games, and I love to see what Awakened Realms have done with it, but Voidfall is something very special. So, let's have a look at these boards. Oh, John's saying that he wants 4 different castles if he's a prince. So, what we're going to do is, does it clip on? Or does it just rest on? I probably should read the book on what you're supposed to do with these. I mean, does this just go straight on the table like that? Or is there a player board? Because otherwise that's going to move around, isn't it? What am I missing? Am I missing something? Somebody tell me if I'm doing anything wrong. Maybe I'm not doing anything wrong. It's over the top, it slots into the player board. Okay, so there is a player board. Let me have a look. Where's the destructions? Here we go. Put the mat on the player board, then the insert on that. Right, so player boards. It's those double-sided duchy boards. 5 boards in 4 copies, 1 to 10. It'll be this. Here we are. Okay, right, yeah. These are big. Wow. These are big and chunky. So this is a player board. And again, this is thick card and it's dual layered. So what's going to happen is that's going to go in there like so. And then that slots into there like that. Okay, there you go. So that's not going to move around. There you go. So each player has their own player board. You've got space to put your dice, I believe. Space to put your tiles, because you take tiles. If you don't know how to play the game, you're basically drafting tiles from a central board and then placing them onto here. So in addition to every player having their own player board, there is a central board. Now, in the original version of the game, which I have in the other room, this is very, very beige. Then they did a new edition of the game a few years ago where they were supposed to have improved the artwork, and it was too garish. This looks really nice. I've actually seen this before. So this is the main player board. And what's going to happen is that you're going to be adding tiles to this location. This is the 2-player side of the board, I believe. Yep. And then this is the 3 and 4-player side of the board. And basically every round, and there's 5 rounds in the game, you will populate these locations with tiles based on the corresponding colour. And then players will use their dice actions in order to take tiles from here, put them onto their player board, put them into the corner of their player board, and then move them onto their main player board. You're trying to complete areas, complete sets, and do all sorts of different things. But the core mechanisms are relatively simple. So yeah, so that's the main board. Let's do Paul's punch test. So these are all of the different things that you can take that will come out. You'll draw them from the bags, put them on the player board. If you have the whatever the expansion is, there's another expansion I can't remember. I don't have it here, but it basically there is a 3D modeled building for every single one of these, which is crazy, but I've seen pictures of them and they look great. So Pulse punch test. Yeah, these are punching out really, really cleanly, absolutely cleanly. Trying to bend it, trying to break it. No, cardstock's good. And you've got a texty description on the other side of what it does. Now, once you know the game, you do get to know them. There is also your handy dandy reference sheet for when you want to look something up to see what it does. But generally speaking, once you've played the game a few times, I found that you were able to remember what was what. It all depends thematically what they are. So for example, that to me looks like a market, and it is. Take a livestock or ship tile. Would I remember that? Well, there's a green building and there's a blue building. So yeah, I think the colours on that would try and help me with what it is. Anyway, so these are the tiles, and what happens is you will take them, you'll put them down here. You can have a maximum of 3, and then with another action, you can move them from here to your player board. So they slot in, and you can pick them up, take them out, and this stops everything moving around. So he says, yeah, I've got it at a bit of a funny angle. So yeah, this will stop the tiles from moving around on the board. So yeah, they've done a good job with that. That's quite nice. Right, what else is there to look at? So this is one sheet of tiles. This is all of the types of buildings that you can build. Each building has a special ability that does something for you. You've got the yellow tiles, which I thought was the technologies, but is now monasteries. Each one of these gives you a special power that you can then use for the rest of the game. Boats are used to take goods. Yeah, then you've got animals, and you want to collect the same type of animals in a pasture in order to get... oh, there you go. Sheep's popped out. Then you've got the castles here, which are very powerful. Then you've got the mines that give you money. And then I assume these are for the vineyards. Not sure. You've got workers that can change the result of your dice. Yeah. Is that for the vineyards? No, that's possibly for something else. Yeah. Oh, no, it's got to be for the vineyards, because look, we've got grapes. So this has to be for the vineyards. Graham is saying generally their colour matches what you get to take for free. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because the one I looked at had green and blue roofs, and it allows you to take an animal or a boat. So yeah, they've colour coded them correctly. So what's that one? Gain 4 workers, because that's the colour of the workers. Yeah, okay. So there's visual clues there. The acrylic hexes, which we'll have a look at in a minute, they don't have the clues on the back. They don't have the writing on the back, unfortunately. But yeah, these must be for vineyards. I don't know what these are for. Presumably one of the other expansions, but was there a space on the player board for these? No. No, there wasn't a space on the player board for these. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what these are for. But we'll find out later. And I mentioned that there's so many different player boards. So here's all of the different player boards. Now, when you first play the game, it's recommended that you all use the same board, whatever board that is. But yeah, these are all numbered. Wow, there's lots and lots of different ones. It's basically the same number of things. It's just different layouts, and every one has a different sort of style of play. Right, is it acrylic hexes time? I think it is. It's 5:20, which is the time for acrylic hexes. How many people watching this video right now are interested in a solo playthrough tomorrow night? Let me know. It will be happening at 8 o'clock tomorrow night on this channel. So 27 hours from now is when I'll be doing a solo playthrough. I don't know how long the solo game takes, but I will be learning it tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon. I'll be doing a practice run of it. And then, yeah, live playthrough at 8 o'clock. And that will be my last... I mean, if you can make it tomorrow, it'd be great, because tomorrow's live playthrough of this game is my last live stream before I get married. So, yeah, what a good game to sort of end my life as a single man, playing Castles of Burgundy. Yeah. I might try and sneak a game in Mage Night in the night before. No, probably won't be able to. Anyway, acrylic tiles. Let's go to the overhead. And let's press this button to zoom in a bit more. Might need to zoom out. So these are quite heavy, as you would expect from acrylic tiles, but these are nice. I'm going to have to zoom out, aren't I? Right, so all of those tiles that we just looked at, we don't want them. We're not going to use them. We're going to use these instead. So these are the vineyard tiles. These are the buildings, animals and stuff like that. Interesting that these are... Oh no, they're the black tiles. The black tiles go in the centre of the board. That's for the market. We've got the castles. So yes, so these don't have the text on the back. They just have a blank back. I guess it was a bit too difficult for them to put that on the back. But let's just zoom in a bit more. There we go. Let's have a look at these. So if it's going to focus, yeah, it's going to focus. So yeah, acrylic tiles. If you like that kind of thing, then it's a nice add-on. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to get my player board back out. Where did I put my player board? Here. Okay, so let's get the player board back out and let's slot them in. Yeah, so they slot in, and again, this keeps moving around. I need to be careful with this. That needs to sit in. There you go. So yeah, so acrylic tiles work fine. The normal tiles work fine. The acrylic ones are probably a little bit easier to pick up because they're a bit thicker. But yeah, they do look nice. And obviously, acrylic tiles, once you've played the game 300 times, I assume cardboard tiles, no matter how good a quality, they're going to start to rub a little bit and wear, whereas the acrylic tiles are not going to do that. So yeah, these are nice and thick and chunky. Right, what else have we got? We've got some other stuff. So we've got some metal coins, because you can go down the mines and get metal coins. These are the dice. So they've gone with a nice special design on the dice. Each player has 2 dice, which they roll at the start of each round. And then we have some other tokens. So these are the goods tokens. Goods will appear gradually. So these are not acrylic. I don't think these are acrylic. I don't know what these are. Yep, not sure what these are made out of. They're not card. Might be wood. Might be wood. But yeah, each round goods will appear. and you can then use your ships to collect these goods. Goods are worth points at the end of the game, but you can also trade them for extra points and gold and everything else. I think that's it. I think that is everything. So yeah, so I've got a bit of a job tonight in front of TV. We're watching old episodes of Have I Got News For You at the moment, because we missed a few series a couple of years ago. So we're going through them, and I will be sitting down. I will be punching all of this out, putting it away, and getting ready for tomorrow's playthrough. So yes, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock on this channel. The video is there now if you want to go and check out the video and click that remind me or whatever button it is. And that's everything. Tomorrow's playthrough is a sponsored playthrough. So just to be clear, Awakened Realms have commissioned me to create that video and the multiplayer playthrough. So you're not going to get any opinions from me about the game in that video. It is just going to be purely a tutorial and a playthrough of the game. This video is not sponsored, so a big thank you to all of my Patreon supporters for making this video possible, and a lot of the other content that I create as well. I try to mix sponsored content with non-sponsored content, and I usually operate on a 50-50 basis. So yeah, so the playthroughs of this game that I do will be sponsored, but there's other content on the channel which isn't sponsored, and that's where the Patreon support comes in. So yeah, big thank you to all of my Patreon supporters, and if you like the content that I create and you want to support me directly, you can do so at patreon.com/gamingrules. where we have a great community over on the Slack channel, where I'm sure there will be some discussions going on about castles of Burgundy. And yeah, other than that, thanks very much for watching. Take care, and I'll see some of you tomorrow. Bye-bye.